Hello and welcome to a new episode on Sadhana World Foundation. As you know, we care about crafting young lives. We present stories drawn from the lessons in history as well as mythology, which are anchored on moral values. We think that these stories contain a significant amount of moral teachings, which our young children and adults must inculcate in their own lives to become stronger and better human beings. We have been talking about inspirational personalities. Think of the leaders that we look up to. We talked about certain qualities that these leaders exhibit, for which we respect them, we look up to them. We spoke about the integrity leaders exhibit. We talked about the ethical standards or the moral standards that the leaders apply day in and day out. We will today talk about another such quality for which we respect leaders. That quality is the ability of the leader to look into the future, to create a picture, to create a vision which inspires all of us, which drives us to go in that direction and reach the destination what our leader is trying to show us. Think of personalities or characters like Leonardo da Vinci, an artist, an inventor, and a philosopher at the same time. He was someone who had the great ability of not only creating beautiful pieces of art which have lived the test of time, but also able to connect various things from various parts of this world and create ideas, which ideas have not only remained inspirational that time, but also even today. Think of Mahatma Gandhi, the political and spiritual leader who believed deeply in a philosophy of non-violent resistance to the British rule. And he believed that we as a nation, India as a nation, can become independent, can become free through the means of non-violence. He didn't want a war to happen. We may have different opinions about this philosophy, but he was someone who was able to catch the imagination of the people of that time in India and were able to follow, a large number of people were able to follow that vision. They believed that India can become free, their lives can become better if they follow the path of non-violence. Think of Albert Einstein, the great physicist. He had the ability to think of various things which are happening in nature, happening in this universe, and was able to connect, and the theories that he was able to bring forth, some of these were backed by experiments. However, a lot of it was theory. He was able to create laws, principles, and beliefs which even today physicists have been following. Think of the person's ability to look into the future, connect various dots, and whatever he said, he was able to demonstrate. After years of study, years of work, people believed in it, and he became a visionary. I will give the fourth example from our mythology. Think of Hindu mythology, Lord Brahma, who is considered as the creator. He is supposed to be having 4 heads, and he was able to envision this universe with so many different kind of species and the nature. Won't you call this character Lord Brahma as the greatest example or epitome of vision? Similarly, look into the Greek mythology. Apollo, the god of prophecy, the god of healing, the god of music. Think of the 3 things: prophecy, healing, and music. he was known to epitomize these things and how unrelated they are. And all of this was possible because these characters or these historical figures believed deeply in something, was able to articulate that, and was able to catch the imagination of the people who were following. That's why they were the visionary leaders. Talking about our day-to-day life, somebody could be working in a restaurant with 2 or 3 people, and one of those 3 people becomes the leader, because that main chef or the main person or the leader is able to see the picture, see the image, see the future, that we would become a restaurant where people would love our food, people would love our ambience, or whatever it is. The person is able to create an image. One doesn't have to be the prime minister or the president of a country, or one doesn't have to be the chief of a clan or a community to become a visionary leader. One can become a leader in a family. One can become a leader even as a musician. You are just working alone. However, you are able to create music which people are just loving it, because you have been able to imagine a future which other people feel attracted towards. So think about all these. How can our young children and young adults become strong visionary themselves? So I thought about it, what really restricts them? I think one is inability to imagine, inability to look into the future. What stops them? Possibly one, it's the fear of failure. Second, it's possibly their inability to connect the dots. Think of today's time. We have so much of information around us. Why can't we step back, stay calm, and look at all these pieces of information and try to connect them? Sometimes, or rather, I would say often, we are not having adequate courage to imagine, to think, to dream of a future, because we are scared of failure. So I looked at the noble qualities that in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in chapter number 16, Sri Krishna talks about. There are 26 of them. I found 2 of them to be deeply connected with this ability to envision the future. One, Abhaya, or fearlessness. That's the first quality that he talks about. And you know, Abhayam or fearlessness is just our ability to detach ourselves from the implications of the present, implications of some of our actions which will come out in future. We are not staying in the present. Often we have great ideas, but we feel scared to hold them, to articulate them for ourselves, let alone articulating for someone else. If I am not imagining a future, I can never reach there. If I reach there, that's an accident. That's not by plan. So that's the first noble quality. We have to encourage all our people, all the people who are around us, to be fearless, to detach themselves of the implications which will come. They don't have to worry about the failure and be fearful of the failure. We are worried what others will speak. We are worried about our social standing. We are worried about how we will be perceived by others. We have to forget that. The second quality that Sri Krishna talks about is Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, which means that I remain steadfast on the path of knowledge. Vyavasthiti means steadfastness. That means I stay the path of knowledge. So there is so much around us. information available on the internet, information available in the books, information with our friends, information with our colleagues, people around us. Can I collaborate? Can I learn from others? Do I have the humbleness to learn from someone else? Can I give something without expecting something back in return? Then only I will be able to envision a future. Albert Einstein, Mahatma Gandhi, or mythological characters like Lord Brahma or Apollo or Leonardo da Vinci possibly were able to be visionary, and till today many of us respect them, look up to those characters because they were fearless, they were focused on the path of knowledge. Thank you very much for watching this and spreading this amongst many more people. Look forward to our future conversations. Bye for now.